Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. My name's Ellis and I'll be your host for today's quiz on classic literature. There are 100 questions in this quiz and at the end you can tell us your score in the comments. Enjoy! Question 1. In which Shakespeare play does the character Othello appear? Othello, Macbeth, or Romeo and Juliet? The answer is, of course, Othello. 2. What is the title of Ernest Hemingway's novel about an American expatriate in Paris? A Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls, or The Sun Also Rises? The answer is The Sun Also Rises. Question 3. What mythical creature does Beowulf battle in the epic poem? Grendel, Minotaur, or Hydra? The answer is Grendel. 4. Who is the author of Jane Eyre? Charlotte Bronte, Virginia Woolf, or Jane Austen? The answer to question 4 is Charlotte Bronte. Question 5. What famous detective novel features the detective Hercule Poirot? The Hound of the Baskervilles, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, or The Maltese Falcon? The answer is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. 6. What is the name of the fictional town in Thomas Hardy's novel Tess of the D'Urbervilles? What is the name of the fictional town in Thomas Hardy's novel Tess of the D'Urbervilles? The answer is Wessex. 7. Who wrote the novel Moby Dick? Herman Melville, Nathaniel Hawthorne, or Mark Twain? Moby Dick was written by Herman Melville. Question 8. In which novel does the character Atticus Finch appear as a lawyer defending a black man accused of rape? The Grapes of Wrath, Go Set a Watchman, or To Kill a Mockingbird? The answer is To Kill a Mockingbird. Question 9. What is the name of the island where the novel Robinson Crusoe takes place? Neverland, Desolate Island, or Treasure Island? Well, Treasure Island is its own book, Neverland is Peter Pan, it's Desolate Island. The answer is Desolate Island. 10. What is the title of Mary Shelley's famous Gothic novel? Frankenstein, Dracula, or The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? The answer is Frankenstein. 11. What is the name of the ghost in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol? Casper, Jacob Marley, or Nearly Headless Nick? Now obviously there are a few ghosts in A Christmas Carol, but of those three, which one appears in the book? The answer is Jacob Marley. 12. Who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? There are no multiple choices on this question. Do you know the answer? Who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? It's always worth having a guess if you don't know. The answer is Emily Bronte. 13. In which novel does the character Scarlett O'Hara appear? Pride and Prejudice, Little Women, or Gone with the Wind? The answer is Gone with the Wind. 14. What is the name of the ship in Joseph Conrad's novel Heart of Darkness? Nellie, Pequod, or Hispaniola? The answer? Nellie. Question 15. Who wrote the novel The Catcher in the Rye? Who wrote the novel The Catcher in the Rye? The answer is J.D. Salinger. 16. In which novel do the characters Piggy, Ralph and Jack appear? The Hunger Games, Lord of the Flies, or The Maze Runner? The answer is Lord of the Flies. 17. What is the name of the family in Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina? The Oblonskys, the Rostovs? The answer is the Oblonskys. 18. Who wrote the novel To Kill a Mockingbird? Was it Truman Capote, Harper Lee, or William Faulkner? To Kill a Mockingbird was written by Harper Lee. That's your answer. Question 19 now. What is the title of George Orwell's dystopian novel? Is it Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, or 1984? The answer is 1984. Question 20. In which novel does the character Jay Gatsby appear? The Great Gatsby, Tender is the Night, or The Sun Also Rises? Jay Gatsby appears in The Great Gatsby. Question 21. Who wrote the novel Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus? Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker, or H.G. Wells? Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus was written by Mary Shelley. 22. What is the name of the fictional kingdom in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings? Westeros, Middle-earth, or Narnia? The answer is Middle-earth. Question 23. What is the title of Homer's epic poem about the Trojan War? The Iliad, the Odyssey, or the Aeneid? The Iliad, the Odyssey, or the Aeneid? The answer is the Iliad. 24. In which novel does the character Elizabeth Bennet appear? Pride and Prejudice, Emma, or Sense and Sensibility? The answer is Pride and Prejudice. 25. Who wrote the novel Brave New World? Was it Ray Bradbury, George Orwell, or Aldous Huxley? And this question marks us being quarter of the way through this quiz. Hope you're keeping up so far. We're on question 25, and the answer to 25 is Aldous Huxley. Up next, question 26. What is the name of the ship in Herman Melville's novel Billy Budd Sailor? HMS Bellipotent, USS Constitution, or HMS Bounty? The answer is HMS Bellipotent. Question 27. What is the title of the novel that follows the life of a young orphan named Pip? David Copperfield, Great Expectations, or Oliver Twist? The answer is Great Expectations. Question 28. Who wrote the novel The Great Gatsby? So we found out earlier the lead character, the main character in that is Jay, but who wrote it? The answer is F. Scott Fitzgerald. 29. In which novel does the character Hester Prynne wear a scarlet letter? The Scarlet Letter, Moby Dick, or The Crucible? The answer? The Scarlet Letter. 30. What is the name of the fictional city in James Joyce's Ulysses? No multiple choices again for question 30. The answer is Dublin. 31. Who wrote the novel 100 Years of Solitude? Mario Vargas Llosa, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, or Julio Cortázar? The answer is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. 32. What is the title of the novel set during the Russian Revolution featuring the characters Yuri Zhivago and Lara Antipova? The answer is Dr. Zhivago. 33. In which novel does the character Raskolnikov commit a murder? The Idiot, Crime and Punishment, or War and Peace? In which novel does the character Raskolnikov commit a murder? Much better pronunciation the second time. The answer is Crime and Punishment. Well done if you got that one. Question 34. Who wrote the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray? Oscar Wilde, Charles Dickens, or Bram Stoker? The answer is Oscar Wilde. 35. What is the name of the family in The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner? The Snopes, the Sutpens, or the Compsons? The answer is the Compsons. 36. In which novel does the character Holden Caulfield appear? The Catcher in the Rye, To Kill a Mockingbird, or The Great Gatsby? The answer is The Catcher in the Rye. 37. Who wrote the novel Alice's Adventures in Wonderland? Lewis Carroll, J.M. Barrie, or Hans Christian Andersen? The answer is Lewis Carroll. 38. What is the title of the novel set in the fictional town of Maycomb? To Kill a Mockingbird, The Help, or Go Set a Watchman? The answer is To Kill a Mockingbird. 39. In which novel do the characters George and Lenny dream of owning a farm? Of Mice and Men, The Grapes of Wrath, or East of Eden? The answer is Of Mice and Men. 40. Who wrote the novel Watership Down? C.S. Lewis, George Orwell, or Richard Adams? The answer is Richard Adams. Question 41. What is the title of the novel set during the American Civil War? Little Women, Gone with the Wind? And that's it, just 2 answers on this one. The answer is Little Women. 42. In which novel does the character Sherlock Holmes first appear? The Sign of the Four, The Hound of the Baskervilles, or A Study in Scarlet? The answer is A Study in Scarlet. 43. Who wrote the novel The Brothers Karamazov? Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, or Anton Chekhov? The answer is Fyodor Dostoevsky. Apologies for any mispronunciation there. 44. What is the name of the island in William Golding's novel Lord of the Flies? Unnamed Tropical Island, Treasure Island, or Skull Island? The answer to question 44 is Unnamed Tropical Island. 45. In which novel does the character Heathcliff seek revenge on those who wronged him? Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, or Great Expectations? The answer is Wuthering Heights. 46. Who wrote the novel Dracula? Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker, or H.P. Lovecraft? The answer to question 46 is Bram Stoker. 47. What is the title of the novel set in the fictional town of St. Petersburg, Missouri? The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Life on the Mississippi, or The Adventures of Tom Sawyer? The answer is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. 48. In which novel does the character Holden Caulfield spend a weekend in New York City after being expelled from prep school? The Catcher in the Rye, This Side of Paradise, or The Great Gatsby? The answer is The Catcher in the Rye. 49. Who wrote the novel The Canterbury Tales? William Shakespeare, Geoffrey Chaucer, or John Milton? There's Jean with a soft J there, Jean. I think it's probably just John Milton. And the correct answer is Geoffrey Chaucer. 50. What is the title of the novel set in post-World War I England? Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse, or A Room of One's Own? The answer to question 50 is Mrs. Dalloway. We are now halfway through this quiz. 51. In which novel does the character Jean Valjean struggle for redemption after serving a prison sentence? Les Miserables, The Count of Monte Cristo, or Crime and Punishment? The answer is Les Miserables. 52. Who wrote the novel The Sun Also Rises? Ernest Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, or John Steinbeck? The answer is Ernest Hemingway. 53. What is the name of the country estate in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice? Pemberley, Mansfield Park, or Thornfield Hall? The answer is Pemberley. Question 54. In which novel does the character Ebenezer Scrooge undergo a transformation after being visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and yet to come? A Christmas Carol, The Night Before Christmas, or The Christmas Box? The answer is A Christmas Carol. 55. Who wrote the novel The Old Man and the Sea? There's no multiple choices here, so have a guess. And like we always say, if you don't know it, it is worth having a guess. Write something down, it might be right. The answer is Ernest Hemingway. 56. What is the title of the novel set in the fictional town of Jefferson, Mississippi? The Sound and the Fury, Absalom, Absalom, or Go Down, Moses? The answer is The Sound and the Fury. 57. In which novel does the character Captain Ahab pursue the white whale? Moby Dick, The Sea Wolf, or Treasure Island? In which novel does the character Captain Ahab pursue the white whale? The answer is Moby Dick. Question 58. Who wrote the novel The Scarlet Letter? Nathaniel Hawthorne, Herman Melville, or Edgar Allan Poe? We've had a question previously about The Scarlet Letter, but do you know who wrote it? The answer is Nathaniel Hawthorne. 59. What is the primary setting of George Orwell's Animal Farm? A farm, a city, or a spaceship? What is the primary setting of George Orwell's Animal Farm? The answer is a farm. Question 60. In Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov, who is the father of the Karamazov brothers? Fyodor Pavlovich Karamazov, Ivan Petrovich Karamazov, or Alexei Alexandrovich Karamazov? Apologies for any mispronunciations, I think I've done okay, but the answer is Fyodor Pavlovich Karamazov. 61. What is the name of the main female character in Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace? Is it Natasha Rostova, Anna Karenina, or Sonia Rostova? The answer is Natasha Rostova, or Rostova. 62. Which novel by Virginia Woolf is considered a pioneering work in the stream of consciousness narrative technique? Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse, or Orlando? The answer is Mrs. Dalloway. 63. In which century was Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote first published? 17th, 16th, or 15th century? The answer is the 17th century. 64. What is the central theme of Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time? Memory, love, or war? The answer is memory. 65. Who is the monster in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein actually named after? No multiple choices here. Do you know the answer? The correct answer is the scientist Victor Frankenstein. 66. What Italian city is the setting for much of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet? Verona, Venice, or Florence? The answer is Verona. 67. Who narrates Herman Melville's Moby Dick? Ishmael, Ahab, or Starbuck? The answer is Ishmael. 68. What is the title of Jane Austen's first published novel? Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, or Emma? The answer is Sense and Sensibility. Question 69. Which Bronte sister wrote The Tenant of Wildfell Hall? Anne Bronte, Charlotte Bronte, or Emily Bronte? The answer is Anne Bronte. Question 70. In Thomas Hardy's The Mayor of Casterbridge, what does Michael Henchard sell? His wife, his house, or his farm? The answer is his wife. Question 71. What existential theme is central to Samuel Beckett's play Waiting for Godot? The meaninglessness of life, the absurdity of war, or the unpredictability of love? The answer is the meaninglessness of life. Cheery. 72. Which Charles Dickens novel features the character Sidney Carton? Great Expectations, Bleak House, or A Tale of Two Cities? The answer is A Tale of Two Cities. Question 73. What doomed ship is the focal point of Joseph Conrad's Lord Jim? The Patna, the Nelly, or the Judea? The answer is the Patna. 74. What is the profession of Robert Louis Stevenson's character Dr. Jekyll? Scientist, lawyer, or teacher? The answer is scientist. 75. In which country is Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude set? Colombia, Mexico, or Venezuela? This question marks as being 3/4 of the way through. There are 25 questions left. The answer to question 75 is Colombia. Who is the author of the poem The Wasteland? T.S. Eliot, W.B. Yeats, or Robert Frost? The answer is T.S. Eliot. What is the curse that afflicts the Flight family in Evelyn Waugh's Brideshead Revisited? The loss of their estate, a haunting, or religious conflict? The answer is the loss of their estate. Question 78. Which novel by John Steinbeck tells the story of the Joad family's migration? The Grapes of Wrath, East of Eden, or Of Mice and Men? The answer is The Grapes of Wrath. 79. What is the fictional realm created by C.S. Lewis in the Chronicles of Narnia series? Narnia, Middle-earth, or Westeros? Is it a trick question? Or isn't it? The answer is Narnia. Question 80. In F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, what is Jay Gatsby's real name? James Gatz, Nick Carraway, or Tom Buchanan? The answer is James Gatz. 81. What is the final solution to the mystery in Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express? The butler did it, it was a suicide, or everyone did it? The answer is everyone did it. 82. Which Russian author wrote The Death of Ivan Ilyich? Fyodor Dostoevsky, Leo Tolstoy, or Anton Chekhov? The answer is Leo Tolstoy. He's been the answer to a couple of the questions in this quiz. 83. What is the name of the pig leader in George Orwell's Animal Farm? Squealer, Snowball, or Napoleon? The answer is Napoleon. Question 84. Who is the tragic hero in Shakespeare's Hamlet? Is it Hamlet, Ophelia, or Claudius? The tragic hero is Hamlet. Question 85. Hope you're keeping up so far. What is the name of the governess in Henry James's The Turn of the Screw? She is never named, Protect Islands, or Attack Mainland? The answer is She is never named. 86. In which novel by Kurt Vonnegut do characters become unstuck in time? Slaughterhouse-Five or Cat's Cradle? The answer is Slaughterhouse-Five. Question 87. What Greek island serves as the backdrop for much of Homer's The Odyssey? The answer is Ithaca. 88. Who is the love interest of Elizabeth Bennet in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice? Mr. Bingley, Mr. Collins, or Mr. Darcy? The answer is Mr. Darcy. Question 89. What is the theme of Edith Wharton's The Age of Innocence? The constraints of society, the innocence of youth, or the corruption of wealth? The answer is the constraints of society. Question 90. In which Shakespeare play does the character Prospero appear? The Tempest, Macbeth, or Hamlet? Apologies, I think that's Prospero. In which Shakespeare play does the character Prospero appear? The answer is The Tempest. 91. What society is depicted in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World? A utopian world, a dystopian world, or a post-apocalyptic world? The answer is a dystopian world. In which work does Thomas More describe an ideal society? Utopia, The City of God, or The Republic? The answer is Utopia. Next question. What is the name of the windmill in George Orwell's Animal Farm? Napoleon's Folly, Animal Farm Windmill, or Windmill of Hope? The answer is Windmill of Hope. That was question 93. We're now moving on to 94. In which novel by Mark Twain does a young boy fake his own death? The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, or Life on the Mississippi? The answer is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. 95. Which poet is famous for the line, "Beauty is truth, truth, beauty"? William Wordsworth, Percy Bysshe Shelley, or John Keats? The answer is John Keats. 96. In which city does James Joyce's Ulysses take place? Paris, London, or Dublin? The answer is Dublin. 97. What is the name of the castle in Franz Kafka's novel The Castle? Kafka's Castle, The Castle of Otranto, or It Is Never Named? Is it Kafka's Castle, The Castle of Otranto, or It Is Never Named? The answer, It Is Never Named. Question 98. Who is the knight that represents holiness in Edmund Spenser's The Faerie Queene? Well done if you got this one, it's the Red Cross Knight. 2 questions left. 99. What archipelago serves as the setting for much of the Odyssey? The answer is the Aegean Islands. 100. Who is the author of the novel Gulliver's Travels? And we've given you a question without multiple choices to finish off this quiz. The answer is Jonathan Swift. Bonus question, who is the title character in Gustave Flaubert's Madame Bovary? Let us know the answer in the comments and let us know how many points you scored because, well done. You have reached the end of our classic literature quiz. Thanks a lot for playing with us today at Quiz Class. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon and you'll be notified on all of our upcoming quizzes. There are quizzes already uploaded on our channel that you can get involved with now. My name's Alice and I've been your host today. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time at Quiz Class.